Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We're here for our Tuesday evening league, the GTMC. And guess what? It's the Grand Series finale. It's the end. It's like Scarlet Witch is going to get a new costume, or the Falcon's going to get a new costume. Something like that. Or we're going to see a new champion. But we're here with the GTMC, a lobby 1 at Dragon's Trail International Raceway. I'm going to say Seaside. Why not? And we'll see when they go round if it looks like the Seaside one or the Garden one. But we're at Dragon's Trail. I should have checked. Damn. And we're with the GTMC. Let me tell you a little bit about the GTMC. The multi-discipline league. GTMC is a masterpiece in testing what drivers are capable of. Manufacturers from all over the world want the best drivers possible to master both Group 4 and Group 3 machines in the same meeting. A round consists of a sprint and a feature race, meaning drivers must master pace, strategy, track and machine to take the top step in this championship. So yes, our sim racers choose a manufacturer at the beginning, that time ago, 10 rounds ago, and they represent that manufacturer in each round. In the sprint race, they use the Group 4 car with a 10-minute qualifying and then a 15-minute sprint race using the super soft tyres. No pit stops, please. And then they move on to that manufacturer's Group 3 car, and they race in a strategic 40-minute battle with, I think, softs, super softs and medium tyres all available in that race, but they must use at least 2 of those compounds. And it used to be for free laps, but with the pit stops being updated, you can't be frivolous with your pit stops anymore, so that kind of killed that. Right then, let me get through the tables. There's a few of them, and then we will crack on with the grid, and then we'll watch the sprint race. So a little way to go, but it's a finale. You've got to build up. We're going to see Racer Brown get a new costume. So in the top spot of before drop scores, this is table. I'm pretty sure it is before drop scores. Give me a sec. So Lil's GP, top of the pile, as he has been for most of this season, on 393 points. Lil's GP with 9 wins to his name so far and 6 podiums. It's a cracking season Lil's GP has had, and he's been hard to beat. In second place in the championship, our reigning champion, Liam Anfield. He's on 354 points in the Alfa Romeo with 3 wins and 7 podiums behind him. In third place in the other BMW is Matt Psycho on 343 points. So Matt Psycho may still be able to catch Liam Anfield. Well, we'll see the drop scores, sorry. So third is Matt Psycho on 343 points for BMW. Matt Psycho's season, 1 win, 7 podiums. Not bad. In fourth place, Racer Brown on 317 points. For Aston Martin, Racer Brown has had 7 podiums so far this season. In fifth place, we have IR Graham in the second Alfa Romeo on 310 points. And IR Graham has managed 5 wins and 4 podiums this season. In sixth place, we have Homesick Alien on 268 points, only managing 1 podium in his Mercedes-Benz. In seventh, we have Gazman on 256 points. In eighth, we have Guesty in the second Aston Martin on 213 points. And Guesty's managed 2 podiums this season. In ninth, Stevie Styler for McLaren on 178 points. And in 10th, Noxie in the Lexus, also on 178 points. But that could all be changed with the drop scores, remember. I don't think got any information on Noxie. I didn't write anything down for some reason. In 11th, is Kale on 154 points. 12th is Daz on 111 points. 13th, Alphanaut on 85 points. G Richards in 14th on 76 points. Pace in 15th on 53 points, and Iron Doctor in 16th on 38 points. Let me tell you the manufacturers, I think. Yes, the manufacturers I've got up next. So, BMW are heading that class on 414 points, but Alfa Romeo in second place on 406 points. So, very close for the top manufacturer there. It's the points for the manufacturing table goes from the top finishing manufacturer. So not both manufacturers, but just the top finishing one manufacturer. So Alfa Romeo, they'll have to go some to beat BMW today, but it's mathematically possible for them. In third place, Aston Martin on 336 points. Fourth, Mercedes on 268 points. In fifth, we have Lexus on 265 points. So the Lexus and the Mercedes still have everything to play for. In sixth, we have Chevrolet on 193 points, and McLaren in seventh on 178 points. Jaguar in eighth on 111 points. Toyota in ninth on 85 points, and Ford in 10th on 76 points. But I believe Toyota and Ford, possibly Jaguar, have pulled out. Right, sorry, nearly there. This is the final one. This is with the drop scores at the end of round 9 before this round. Little GP at the top of the table with 336 points. IR Graham is in second place with 297 points. Liam Anfield third on 296 points. So that's interesting, between IR Graham and Liam Anfield, 1 point between them for that second spot in the championship. In fourth, Matt Psycho on 274 points, and he's only 2 points ahead of Racer Brown in fifth place, who's on 272 points. In sixth, we have Homesick Alien on 221 points, with Gazman in seventh on 212 points. Guesty is in eighth on 189 points, with Stevie Styler in ninth on 178 points. In 10th, we have Kale on 164 points. Noxie is in 11th on 160 points, with Daz in 12th on 107 points. Alphanaut 13th on 85 points. G Richards 14th on 76 points. Pace in 15th on 53 points, and Iron Doctor 16th on 38 points. They're the tables. Okay, we've got that. We all didn't start drifting off looking out the window whilst we were going through all of those, did we? And you're not bored of looking at that Dragon's Trail International Raceway sign? Well, let me change your view, because we're going to have a look at the grid. Feel like I've been chatting for ages. I'm so sorry. So here's the grid. After 10 minutes of qualifying, we've got some people in the chats. David Bunting saying you. Jim on Wise, that's an old one, isn't it? Jim saying a morning thingy. Hi Jim. And Racer Brown saying morning all. So here is the grid after 10 minutes of qualifying in the Group 4 cars on Supersofts. On pole, the BMW, number 5 of Lidl's GP. In second place, Gazman in the Lexus, mixing things up in the Group 4s. In third place, we have Matt Psycho in the second BMW. In fourth, we have Kale in the Chevrolet. In fifth, we have a Racer Brown in his Aston Martin. In sixth, we have the first of the Alphas, IR Graham. And then seventh, Liam Anfield, the reigning champion. In eighth, we have Stevie Styler in his McLaren. Ninth, Guesty in the second Aston Martin. And Homesick Alien is in 10th in the Mercedes-Benz. So that's how they lined up after 10 minutes of qualifying here at Dragon's Trail Seaside. I'm committing to that. And let's get underway. Without further much ado, because you've been listening to me pranny on for way too long. So let me get this, play, and let's see how it goes. 15 minutes of racing on the super soft tyres around... Is that Seaside? I think that's Seaside. I'll tell when they get to that awful corner that gets down by the water. And the lights are gone, and there goes the BMW. The Lexus also having a good start, but Kale's Chevy absolutely flying off of the grid, but Lil's GP covering off that first place for now, ahead of Gasman. Oh, it's a three-way battle, Gasman, Kale and Matt Psycho all alongside each other, but it looks like Gasman just edging ahead of Kale, with Matt Psycho dropping back a bit, but Matt Psycho's coming back in the chicane, and Matt Psycho putting the BMW up in third, Kale down into fourth, Racer Brown holding that fifth place, with Stevie Styler moving up into sixth, and Hope Alien making a jump nearly ahead of both Alfa Romeos. Slack off the grid, the Alphas, and Guesty dropping back into 10th spot, but Lil's GP leads them away, whilst Gasman holds that second spot ahead of Lil's GP's teammate Matt Psycho, looking a little paler, being in Lil's GP's shadow this season, but now the summer's here, I'm sure he'll get out and get some sun. Kale in fourth in his Corvette, holding it just ahead of the Aston Martin of Racer Brown. Stevie Styler sixth, just ahead of Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien looking to make a move into the hairpin. Stevie Styler covers it off, and now Homesick Alien has to worry about Liam Anfield all up in his sixes. IR Graham just behind his teammate in ninth place, and 10th there for Guesty, clinging on to the back of the Alphas. Lil GP looks like he's extending that lead from Gasman, but Gasman pulling away from the Corvette. It looks like he's just got himself ahead of the BMW, but the BMW coming back. No, the BMW under threat from Racer Brown now. Matt Psycho struggling in that Group 4 BMW, with Racer Brown in his Aston Martin really close for comfort now, whilst Gasman, is he chasing down Lil's GP, or is Lil's GP just flying away with it? Looks like Lil's GP is absolutely burning through it, but those tyres on that BMW are vulnerable, and anyone's vulnerable around Dragon's Trail. We've seen how they bounce over the curbs. Oh, and already there, as I say it, Gasman over the wrong side of the curb into the gravel, and it slowed him right down for Kale to get right on his business now. And Matt Psycho still defending from Racer Brown. Stevie Styler still ahead of Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien seems to have got a little bit of breathing space from Liam Anfield, and we've lost. No, that's not Liam Anfield. Liam Anfield is at the back of the pack. I apologise, reigning champion, the champion, but we must see how one ended up so far back. One, because he's got one on his car, you see. So Liam Anfield sitting in 8th behind the Alien. He goes to make a move. Oh, there just wasn't enough space there, and the Alien was not giving it an inch. And Liam Anfield, he was quite far back in all fairness, and he ends up in the gravel. And Lil's GP leads the way from Gasman. Gasman still ahead of Kale, even though he kicked up a little bit of dirt earlier. And Kale is on an absolute stonker at the moment, although it's lap 2, they all are. They'll all be getting purples. So that's a hard one to judge by, and it always catches me out, that damn thing. I don't think you should give anyone purples on lap 2. So Matt Psycho just ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown really pushing the limits of that Aston Martin. Every point counts coming into this last round, and in the background there you can see, in the foreground you can see Kale making a move on the Lexus of Gasman, and he's made it stick, it seems. Gasman's still there though. Gasman's on the inside now, but Kale's dropped a little bit of barrier as they go through the chicane of death, and Kale comes out glorious and in the lead. And oh my god, the two Aston Martin and the BMW, the Mastermind now up into 3rd ahead of the BMW, and they both chewed up Gasman and spat him out behind. So Gasman from 2nd place down to 5th in one chicane, it seems. You've got to be brave through the chicane of death. Any hesitation and the pack will be upon you. So Lil's GP flying away with it. Did a 1:45.4 that last time around. Kale managing a 47.1, and now Racer Brown absolutely coming alive in this race, but we know that Aston Martin burns its tyres, so he has to be somewhat careful, and them curbs are killers. Matt Psycho in 4th place, clinging onto the back of that Aston Martin, and Gasman there. We know he's got the pace. He was there in the qualifying. And Homesick Alien in 6th place ahead of IR Graham. Guesty. Oh, we've lost Stevie Styler now. Stevie Styler didn't want Liam Anfield to be too lonely and has joined him at the back of the pack to keep it interesting for Liam Anfield for the rest of the race. Skyjacker in the chat saying, good morning, guys. Good morning. So Little's GP leading the way still. That's the motto of GTMC this season. Is Little GP leading? Race Brown, oh my gosh, what did I just catch? Gasman, glorious drifting, but this isn't the drift competition, I'm afraid. He's grabbed a beautiful toe. Oh no, I see. Matt Psycho got himself a little bit on the grass. Oh my, I can't get it out, sorry. Yeah, so it looked like to me. Matt Psycho, a little bit on the grass there. He knocked, I think Kale went flying. Kale went flying, hit the barrier, come back and hit hit Gasman. Sorry, I was trying to evaluate whether or not to go back and look at it again, but yeah, well, we saw it. So Little GP leading. Now Racer Brown in 2nd. Matt Psycho going up into 3rd. Gasman in 4th. IR Graham now up into 5th. He's got himself ahead of the Alien. And he's up into 5th, Alien in 6th still because of the people dropping down. Guesty coming to life in that Aston Martin now, snipping at the heels of the Mercedes. Kale on a recovery down into 8th place with Liam Anfield in 9th, and he seems to have dropped Stevie Styler somewhat. Stevie Styler, when we last saw, was right on his 6. Liam Anfield sliding that Alpha through that uphill chicane. Absolutely beautiful to see. A 45.0 from Little's GP that last time around, showing his dominance to the field. And there's Racer Brown, 46.9, just ahead of the 2nd BMW. 46.9 also from Matt Psycho. Gasman, oh, Gasman getting it all wrong down the hill. Too fast, not enough brakes, and luckily he ghosted just before Guesty had got there. But Gasman, oh my lord, from misery to misery for Gasman, down into 10th place. And Little's GP leading from Racer Brown. Matt Psycho in 3rd. IR Graham promoted up into 4th place. Guesty now in 5th. And Kale, oh, Homesick Alien's lost a few places as well. Shall we compound his misery and have a look back? I don't know when it would have happened. So Homesick Alien, he was in 6th behind IR Graham, we knew that. Guesty was very close to the back of him. As he comes down the hill, look there, it didn't happen there. He's in 5th now, and a great, oh, he just run wide coming out of that corner. And yeah, clambered back on. But Guesty managing to get past the Mercedes, and there goes Kale through as well. And that is Homesick Alien's story and how he went from 5th to 7th. Or 6th, no, 5th to 7th, yeah. And now he's got Liam Anfield, who he can't believe his luck. He's already seen 2 cars go by after he made his mistake. Oh, he did he make a mistake? Oh no, it was a Homesick Alien he tried to get up the inside of, wasn't it? That's take to the dirt, and he goes straight past the Alien there, no bother. Leading then, Little GP, just crossing the line, start lap 5. We're set just over 7 minutes into this 15-minute sprint race. Little GP, he's banging those 45.0s out. Consistent and clear. His tyres just showing the tips of red. But everything absolutely under control in that car at the moment. Looks like Homesick Alien's dropping again. Oh, I thought I saw Alien drop behind a couple of cars, but no, maybe not. Maybe he's caught Liam Anfield up. But yeah, Homesick Alien in that Merc. He's dogging the Alpha for everything it's got, squeezing everything out of that Group 4 Mercedes. Little GP meanwhile, he's leading by a mile. Racer Brown, he's got a nice fair bit of space except for Matt Psycho. Their tyres around even Stevens there in the BMW and the Aston Martin. It's I.R. Graham, I believe that Alpha, looks after his tyres the most out of all of these guys. So Racer Brown and Matt Psycho should beware the later couple of minutes of this race. We have seen the Alpha come back at the leaders. But at the moment, Racer Brown doing, Matt Psycho giving the barrier a kiss out of the chicane. Haven't really sat in a car for that chicane yet, have we? We'll have to do that. Get the full glory of the chicane. Is there anyone close to everyone I can follow? Someone? Oh, it's Homesick, isn't it? Homesick close to Liam Anfield. Jumping car. We'll see a lap of Dragon's Trail, shall we? Seaside, like I called it. You can see he's coming up in the tow, right behind. I think he might have helped Liam there, give him a little bump to try and catch up the Corvette in front. And through the uphill chicane, just favouring that accelerator not to push it over that curb, heading down. It's a hairpin, but it's quite a fast one. The braking point is rather late in the corner. The Mercedes all over the curbs as it comes around the tight corner, back up the hill. It's hard on the accelerator, trying to get that power down through a slow corner, up a hill, and then downhill again, through the left, starting to go back up the hill, through the long sweeping right, over the crest of the hill, over the left. Car very unbalanced as it comes over to this side of the track, onto the curbs. You can see the Alpha slowly pulling away from the Mercedes, coming down to the very tight hairpin, bang, standing on those anchors, trying to get that car to slow down around the tight hairpin. And then we're heading up, trying to be brave, be brave, be brave. Tell yourself to be brave. Keep that foot right firmly down as you go through the first part, and just a little lift, just enough, and he's sliding. And no, we failed. And it looked like Liam Anfield did as well as he ghosted in front. But that is the chicane of death for you. You've got to be brave. But you can see Homesick Alien's tyres were not in the best situation for that, and Stevie Styler has caught up the Mercedes. Unbelievable. And the Mercedes is off. He's lost all grip and he's out. Poor Homesick Alien. That Mercedes just not giving him the traction he needed today. Box Lils GP leading the way by a mile from the Aston Martin of Racer Brown. Points are good for Racer Brown here. Matt Psycho in third place, backing up his teammate in the BMW. But there we see it, I.R. Graham. His tyres a lot tidier right at this point in the race. His last lap was a 45.889, where Matt Psycho's at 46.6 and Racer Brown's at 46 dead. So you can see they've munched their tyres. They've bunched them old Pirellis. Have they got advertisement on their car? Has he got a tyre? Yeah, Pirelli. He's got Pirellis on, and the Beamer is using, let me see, I don't think there's much sponsorship on that, is there? Mitchel's. So the Beamer and the Racer Brown are tearing through their Pirellis and Michelin's. But what's the Alpha got on? Advan? Can anyone see a tyre supplier on that car? God damn it, I.R. Graham, slow down. I'm trying to read your car. No, I can't. He's too fast. He's too fast. It's just a streak of red and black. But yes, I.R. Graham's tyres a lot better at this stage in the race. And he's just swanning up to the back of that BMW. And it's going to be easy pickings. We're 12 and a half minutes into this race. There's a wire right going across. Well, it's actually my LAN wire. It's going right across where the time is on the TV, so I keep looking up and down at the time. It's crazy. It looks like I'm nodding as I'm talking. But there you can see I.R. Graham definitely closing in on that BMW, and it's going to be earlier rather than later. He wants to get the job done. He wants to get after Racer Brown as well, I assume. And then he's in a battle with his own teammate, the reigning champion, for second, I guess, in the championship. So the first loser, Liam and I.R. Graham, fighting over. Let's have a look around then. So Lil's GP, he's losing a lot of pace there. He's lost 2 seconds a lap. He was doing nice 45s. That last lap was in the 47s, but with 13 minutes into the race, and he's a country mile ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown keeping it consistent with the 46 zeros. Matt Psycho, he did his best lap though, at 46.2. His tyres may have been short, but he's managed to do his best lap. But IR Graham is just going to drive around the outside in the hairpin. That's a brave move. And oh, you do not want to overtake. Oh, let's get in IR Graham's car, because trying to make an overtake in the chicane of death is the stuff of fools. A nice little gentle lift there, Nat. Ooh, still a little kiss of the barrier. Even the best of them get beaten by that barrier sometimes. In 5th we have Kale, having a nice steady race. He's ahead of Guesty. His last lap of 47.2 with Guesty of 47.6. So Guesty with his tyres pretty much burnt as well. His Pirellis are down, as are the Corvettes. I can't see one. No, can't see one. Manfield going through. Can he catch up? Guesty did a 46.3 his last time around. Guesty doing a 49.0. So yes, Liam Manfield maybe 3 seconds faster than Guesty at this point in the race. Stevie Styler there in 8th place. Good solid job after he fell to the back. Gasman, oh, Gasman will be kicking himself, I imagine, and as will Homesick, although I don't think Homesick had much control over his with the tyres. Now the final lap has come up, and Lil's GP burns through some fuel. That's going to be interesting for the feature race. Well, they're totally different cars, but he's burnt through a lot of fuel for this win, and that bumps his wins up to 10 wins this season. Out of 19 races up until this point. It's not a bad ratio, that. Stuff of championships. So Lil's GP making his way round. Racer Brown. Oh, what? Where's Matt Psycho? Blooming heck, Matt. You have to cause a bit of drama on last lap, and I'm winding down. Oh, that looks good, though. So there you see IR Graham and Matt Psycho. Oh, I suppose we should see a bit more than that. So Matt Psycho there in 3rd. We've got IR Graham coming up behind him. They're breaking into the uphill chicane. IR Graham trying to make a bit of space up the inside. And Matt Psycho going off into the dirt. And he spins it around. Oh dear. Psycho absolutely seething in that car right now. And IR Graham, I don't know. He looked like he committed to the move. I don't know. I'm not steward. I can't tell. You make the decision. It looked like IR Graham committed to a move. Matt Psycho closed the door, but IR Graham looked like he was already there. And Matt Psycho kind of bounced off him. But here we go. Matter ye not, that's other people's decisions to make, and we will see Lil's GP crossing the line to take his 10th win of the season. Oh no, yeah, 10th win of the season. Congratulations, Lil's GP. Here comes Racer Brown, a very good race for 2nd place. IR Graham, imagine under stewards for 3rd. Take a boo, my son. Kale getting 5th out at 4th in the end, and there's a bit of racing there. Guesty and Liam Manfield. We said Liam Manfield would catch him up, but not quite. Stevie Styler crosses the line in 7th with Gasman moving up a spot, but small consolidation for Gasman there in 8th, and Matt Psycho bringing her home in 9th, and the alien there in his Merc just coming up towards the line. I mean, I don't suppose there's much point in me writing these down because it's the last race of the season, but it's out of habit. So Lil's GP, an absolute dominant performance again to take it to 10 wins in 19 races. A Racer Brown adding to his podiums. What did I say he had? 7 podiums, so that's now up to 8 podiums for Racer Brown, a grand 2nd place. 4 second places he's had this season. Rounding out the podiums is R. Graham. Steeped in controversy, possibly, I don't know. But IR Graham finishing on that podium position. So I'm just having a drink. And Kale finishing in a solid 4th spot in the end. I'd say that's his highest, but he got 4th in the feature race in round 1 at the Red Bull Ring. 5th place there for Guesty. Yeah, that Aston Martin just there in the distance. Guesty, 5th place. Cracking race. That's his 3rd 5th place in a row. He got 2 5ths at the last round, and starting this round off with a 5th. Liam Anfield finishing a little bit further behind his teammates in 6th place. Does not help his fight for 2nd spot in the championship, but we'll see what he does in the features. 7th place. Oh my god, what's going on with this? There you go, that's brilliant. 7th place for Stevie Styler. Hasn't managed to get on the podium with that McLaren this season. Closest he got is 4th place at round 8 sprint race. But he's not been able to make that McLaren sing like he would like to. 8th spot there goes to Gasman. But such a great showing early doors in the race. Lost it down the hill. But still, Lexus showing promise in the last round. Matt Psycho was in a good 3rd place. Had a battle with IR Graham and ended up down in 9th. I imagine after the race he'll be heading up to the stewards and saying, "What is this? What is this? Hey?" Matt Psycho in 9th, and the Alien grabbing the final spot in 10th place. Right then, we'll let him cross the line. Oh, we'll get my phone ready. I'll get to see the spinny thing, unless it's all been deleted, because it's all over now. And then we'll load up the other race. I've got to go to collection. Jokers is in the chat saying good morning, and Jokers also saying thingamajig, it's nice to hear you. Just about though, it's croaky, isn't it? Who am I looking for? Racer Brown feature race. This is one I did earlier. I loaded it up earlier, so it shouldn't take as long to load up, and I'm still looking for the spinny wheel. So the random draw is our favourite time of the day, when we get to listen to the little dings. That's 5th. I don't know if that's the same. No, that was round 9s. I don't know what went on there, because that looked like round 9s. Oh, there isn't a round 10 on there. Oh. I don't know. So let's have a look. Where did Kale finish? 4th. So it must have been 4, because Kale is on pole with IR Graham in 2nd, and he was 3rd. Race Brown was 2nd, Lil's GP 1. So yes, it was 4. What weird how the video wasn't on there. So Kale is leading them away in the Corvette. He has opted to start on the soft tyres. IR Graham also on the soft tyres in the Alfa Romeo. Racer Brown on soft tyres in the Aston Martin. Lil GP has gone for super softs for the Beamer. Guesty on the super softs also, so them two are going to be looking fighty midfield. Liam Anfield's on the softs, they're off. Stevie Styler's on the softs. Gasman's gone for softs. Matt Sucker's on the super softs. Homesick's on the softs. And Pace has joined us here for the final race in the Corvette on softs, and he's going for an early move on the Mercedes. Looking around the outside, but it's no room there, Homesick says. So Kale leading the way, and Racer Brown under threat from IR Graham, but Lil's GP's also in it. And IR Graham moving up into 2nd place. Racer Brown looks like he doesn't want a bit of that. Oh no, he's still there. He's in third. He must have made a small mistake in that corner. Losing the place to IR Graham. Little GP just a little bit behind Racer Brown. He's in an Aston Martin sandwich at the moment. Sat on board with Guesty in 5th, Liam Anfield in 6th, Stevie Styler 7th, Gasman in 8th. And at the moment we're sat on board with the Aston Martin looking at Racer Brown, IR Graham and Little's GP fighting it out here for second spot, whilst Kale Rabbits in the chat. Everyone's telling me. Skyjack saying the voice is sexy. Yeah. Oh, darling. And Racer Brown says 4th, mate. And Skyjack said, oops, my bad. Forgot to share vid. I've done now, though. I'll watch it later. Oh, and there we see Lil's GP out very wide. Tyres. And Kale doing an absolute blinding job on the softs. Leading the way from Racer Brown. IR Graham sitting in a comfortable 3rd place. Little GP just maintaining ahead of Guesty. And behind Guesty is Liam Anfield, the reigning champion, wanting to get by. And Stevie Styler in 7th, Gasman in 8th. Pace got past the Mercedes. Oh, Matt Psycho's down in 11th. What happened? Matt, I am sorry. But if it's a big event, we have to see it. Oh my God. Did he just start from the back? Ah, there we see. There we see. So Matt Psycho in 8th. Just made a move on Gasman, it seems. Up into 8th place. And oh, he just went a little bit wide and the BMW betrayed him. It betrayed him. The rear end just kicked him round. And that puts Matt Psycho down into 11th place. Has he got his headlights on? Yeah, he's got his headlights on. It's alright, you can see his way whilst he's in the shadow of his teammate. So Kale in 1st place, leading the way from IR Graham, but IR Graham under threat now from Racer Brown. Racer Brown is up into 2nd spot, and the Alfa Romeo is it looks very, very weak in that hairpin. And it's just all bunched up here. This is an endurance race, boys. Did no one tell you? You're meant to be looking after those tyres. And oh, they're just all wiggling out of the chicane of death, trying to survive. And they're still quite bunched up. It's still first lap though. Feels like they've been racing a while. There's been a lot of racing in one lap. And oh, Lil's GP out there again. Lil's GP loves hanging that Beamer over that curb. Is it going to bite him before the end of this race? Guesty still in 5th. Now he's having to defend from the Alpha of Liam Anfield. We're assuming, as one stops have been the dominant. Alpha Guesty just hanging it. Guesty and his Aston Martin all over the curbs, making me very nervous. But as Pace in the Corvette in 9th with Homesick, yeah, as we've seen, most of the winners of late have been one-stoppers. So we must assume, I imagine, everyone's going to one-stop. Although Kale, the way he's rabbiting and he's flying away, maybe he cares little for his fuel tank. And he's just decided to go full nitro. Racer Brown in 2nd place. And here we can see a battle. Little's GP moving ahead of IR Graham. Is IR Graham trying to fuel save? But we saw, even just in the 15-minute race in the Group 4 cars, they were burning through fuel very fast. The Beamer especially. So if the Group 3 has any characteristics of their lesser car, Group 4 car, then those Beamers, I don't think, will be able to go one stop. And there's Liam Anfield in the Alpha. He tried to make a move on Guesty, and it looks like he's put him off racing line. And Stevie Styler is there. He says, thank you very much. Bang tidy. Beautiful stuff. I'll take that. And now Liam Anfield moves down another spot. Kale still leading the way What are the strategies? We're only a couple of laps into this race. It's early doors. They've all fought for their race position. And now they must be thinking of conserve, save, and consistency. Some of them forget and just want to race. And it looks like Little's GP on those super soft tyres. And he's got no interest in conserve or save. Skyjacker in the chats, the Group 4 Beamer is a way thirsty girl. Probably the worst Group 4 for fuel. Oh, there you go then. So hopefully the Beamers will be alright. I think we've seen them do one stops in these races. I can't recall. I've had a small break from it, and the cache has been wiped. So Lil's GP is hounding that Aston Martin. We should be looking at this from this view. It's going to be a lot juicier. As we see Racer Brown trying to defend from the champion-elect. I guess what's a champion that's not quite a champion yet? It looked to me there like Racer Brown did a little lift down the straight. I thought he wanted to sit in, not Racer Brown, Lil's GP. Looked like he did a little lift down the straight. And he still got past Racer Brown. So I'm thinking Racer Brown maybe letting Lil GP go past because he wants to grab a toe for a while and fuel save. Oh, the leader there, Kale. Kale's off the road. It looked like, I could see dust kicking up. It looks like a bigger one than we actually saw. So there's Kale. He's going a hell lever out there in the lead. He's trying to grab, he's going to two-stop, isn't he? Because he's trying to grab himself a bit of a lead on the cars behind him. He's been hanging it out, trying to get those fast laps. He's just over. And oh, there you go. He just couldn't slow the Corvette down after riding the curb. He saved it over the first curb from spinning, but could not slow it down for the next corner. And that has dropped him down into 4th place for now. Can he get back into the racing line? Guesty's got the momentum. Guesty will be all up in the Corvette's business pretty soon. Liam Anfield in 6th. Stevie Styler 7th. Pace has made his way past Gasman, as well as Alien and Matt Psycho. He's quite a way behind. He'll be changing his tactics, I imagine. Maybe going for a one-story up. Oh yeah, because Kale fell off the road, didn't he? So Lil's GP is now leading the race. And there you go. The champion-elect, I guess. Whoa! Absolutely just destroyed the rear quarter of his BMW on the barrier there. Racer Brown hunting him down. Although I think Racer Brown let him past. I think Racer Brown playing the long game in that Aston Martin. I think he's fuel saving. And to me, it looks like Lil's GP is just going hell for leather. IR Graham, a 38.4. Another 38.4. Racer Brown doing 38.5 last time around. And Lil's GP got the fastest lap with a 37.2. So if he's fuel saving, he's doing it very fast. Kale there, regaining composure. He did a 37.4 when he was on it. So I'm thinking he's on a two-stop also. Guesty, a 38.6 last time around. But he's got half a tank already. We're not even at the 10-minute mark. So it doesn't look like Guesty's going to make the fuel last that long, as is not Kale. Pace just off that half a tank. Liam Anfield, he's looks like he's fuel conserving to me. Gasman could be. Stevie Styler down in 9th. He wasn't down in 9th just now, was he? So he must have had a bit of an issue. And Stevie Styler ending up down behind Gasman, behind the Lexus. Homesick Alien. It looks like Matt Psycho's catching up the Alien now. We see that Mercedes goes very deep into the race, although it's usually got a lot more fuel on board at this point in the race. So the Mercedes is getting through that fuel. Oof. Chicane of death makes my stomach go every time in the chat. Racer Brown said he was slightly lagging. Oh, that's what it was it? And Darren Salmon saying, good morning, Daz. How's it going, mate? Little GP leading the way, still in the 37s. Racer Brown staying in those 38s, staying steady. I think that's a one stop that we can see from Racer Brown in his Aston Martin. He's thinking clever. Kale, he's moved up into third ahead of IR Graham, but Kale, we reckon, is on a two-stop, and he's pushing those yellow flags. Oh, Lil's GP, the champion elect, the champion in standing, the champion in waiting, makes a very rare mistake. He's over those curves. It's the curves of Dragon's Trail. Oh no, it wasn't, sorry. Well, it kind of was. He bounced over a curb, and it looks like he lost all traction, and wow, he did it royally. Did it beautifully. Smashed the back end of that. Oh, and then he wants to go for a little half spin in his recovery. Oh, and there you can see in the background, my word, Stevie Styler also having a moment. Everyone's having a moment down that hill. There's yellow flags. Stevie Styler pushing like hell. Looks like he's just got ahead of Gazman. Oh, and he's come across a slow Liam Anfield, maybe. Let's have a look from his car. That was weird. So we're coming down the hill. We know there's yellow flags. I think. Oh, Liam Anfield. Oh, see, Lil GP pulled out in front of Liam Anfield. Liam Anfield there. And Stevie Styler had to get out of it. And Stevie Styler lost a position to Gazman. So poor Stevie Styler there. Racer Brown now leading the way after Little GP exited left of the track. He's still racing. He's just always got himself up into... He's racing down there with Liam Anfield in 6th. Little GP in 7th, just ahead of Gazman's Lexus in 8th place as he tries to recover. And oh, Gazman taking a wide line through the chicane, getting out of it, and Stevie Styler flying by. Stevie Styler on a mission, keeps coming across situations, and he's pushing like a good one. There, Racer Brown leading the way. I bet he can't believe his luck. I bet he was wondering if a one-stop versus Little GP's two-stop was going to pay dividends. And then he saw the yellow flags and saw Little GP half spinning off the side of the track. Now Kale is giving IR Graham a great tow, helping him save some fuel along the way. We've come to 10.5 minutes into this race. As you can see, Kale not quite getting enough fuel to get to that 20-minute mark. Racer Brown also not doing so. That's very surprising. I thought Racer Brown, yeah, he did a 37.9. I don't know, yeah, it's hard to say. I thought he was fuel conserving, staying in the 38s. But his fuel's down to a quarter, so he must be two-stopping. As is Kale. IR Graham, I believe, or one-stopping. Pace already up into 4th. He's fighting Guesty now. He's making that Corvette work around here at Dragon's Trail, but Guesty's still maintaining that 4th as they enter the Dragon. And that's Pace sitting on the tail of the Aston Martin. He's pulled out of the draft now. No, nothing going there in that corner. It's like Guesty knew it, didn't even cover it off. And there goes Racer Brown, the first of his two stops. It's even a little bit early for a two-stop because they usually come in around 15-minute mark. He's in at the nearly 12-minute mark. Kale takes over the lead. IR Graham in 2nd. We've got Guesty and the other Corvette battling it out. And there you go, Pace just edging ahead through the uphill chicane, and Guesty down into 4th. Little GP on a comeback in 5th, and Liam Anfield hanging it out there. His final race as a champion. GTMC champion, but he's always going to hang proudly in the Hall of Champions with other GTMC champions as Nicholas Carl, I think, was Season 1 winner. Season 2, Stigman 4, I believe his name was, LNR Stigman 4. And then Liam Anfield were the warriors that have all carried the crown of the GTMC. And from tomorrow, or from last week, I believe Little GP will be the new champion. Although he's having a bit of a shocker today. He's got a win. Whoa, 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 whoa. Everything's happening all at once. I can't keep up with everything. Let me. IR Graham, first of all. Let's deal with that one. So, IR Graham in second spot. Rubs up to the barrier. Oh, he avoids one barrier and smashes into another one. Then we have to move on to Guesty. Because Guesty, I don't know, did something similar at the same time. In fourth. He's coming around the final corner. IR Graham is just about to do his spin. Oh, he's out on the grass. He's got himself back on the track as he goes in to the circuit of death. And oh, he just knocks the barrier on the inside. And it looks like Liam Anfield's joined him as well. My lord. Where's Liam Anfield? And let's watch Liam Anfield's. So much happening. And that was Liam Anfield's. He just went straight into the wall, didn't he? He didn't even turn. Did he take off over a barrier or something? No, I think he knocked that inside curb as well. And there you go. And Stevie Styler makes it through. It looks like everyone else makes it through. And Racer Brown, just after his pit stop, he's trying to make it through now as well. So, after the chicane of death kills about 4 players all in one go, we've got Kale leading from the second Chevy. Pace, neither of these have pitted. Little's GP now up into third place, with Matt Psycho in fourth, ahead of Gazman, but Gazman's coming at him. Gazman looking like he's got a little bit more pace in his Lexus than the Beamer. That's a tough line to take, Gazman, but he tries to take it anyway. And Matt Psycho stays in fourth, ahead of Gazman in the Lexus. Then we have IR Graham. He's one of the ones that got bit by the chicane. Liam Anfield also bit by the chicane. Stevie Styler's pitted, as is Homesick, and Guesty also being bit by the chicane. So Guesty, he's gone on to some super soft tyres. We're about 14 minutes into the race. That's when I said we'd be seeing the 2 stoppers. So Racer Brown very early in his pit stop. Maybe he's 3 stopping. So Kale, he's leading the way. He's got a few laps of fuel yet to go. 2 laps. Oh, he also gets a bite from the chicane. Pace always catching up. Started at the back of the grid, remember, did Pace. The South African doing an absolute fabulous job, keeping out of trouble and making his way through the group. Little's GP, we thought he was out, we thought he was done. There goes Kale into the pits, as does Pace, and Little's GP also coming in. And Matt Psycho with fuel flashing, it looks like he is going to make a pit stop also. Gazman's staying out there. Maybe he's going to go for the 1 stop, as is IR Graham. And IR Graham would have been in a great position if he didn't decide to 360 it in the chicane of death, as would have Liam Anfield. But maybe this still may work for him. Racer Brown making a very early pit stop. He's just done the fastest lap of the race with a 37.132. So Racer Brown absolutely chugging it at the moment. Kale back out of the pits in 5th place. He's a few corners behind Racer Brown, so it's going to be very interesting. Pace still behind Kale, but he's got Little's GP very close. That's a lovely battle for us to look forward to between Little's GP and Pace. Little's GP's put some super softs on again, but yeah, obviously it's a two-stopper, and Pace has put those soft tyres on. So Little's GP should be a little bit faster than the Corvette in these early laps while he has the better tyre, but if he doesn't get it done soon, then the Corvette's tyre will end up being the better of the two of them. Stevie Styler in 8th with Matt Psycho down into 9th place after his pit stop. Guesty in 10th. He's managed to get himself ahead of the Alien, but the Alien hunting him down, and now as they head towards the hairpin, there they go through it. Gasman coming into the pit, so Gasman not even trying to go for a one stop, so it's just IR Graham then and Liam Anfield trying to take those Alphas all the way to the 20-minute marker. They've got 3 minutes to go yet, just under. And where will that put them out next to the two stoppers? God, Racer Brown losing 3 seconds on his last lap. Must have made a small mistake. Can't make too many of those whilst on this two-stop strategy against those Alfa Romeos. Kale there just completed his out lap, and Pace still under pressure from Little's GP. It's looking like an absolute cracking battle. There goes Little's GP looking for that inside line. No, he's on the outside. Pace defending like a champ against the champion-elect. The wall of death, says Racer Brown. Oh, is that what got you? Oh, right, coming out of the chicane. Oh, that's why Racer Brown did a 3 second slower lap. Stevie Styler in a strong 7th place, ahead of the BMW of Matt Psycho, Gasman, Guesty, and the Alien chasing down Guesty, currently in 11th spot. IR Graham then continuing on for another lap. We're at 18.5 minute mark now, so yeah, on the next lap he can come in, and that will be a one stop. And there we see Racer Brown coming through. He's got himself ahead of Liam Anfield. Liam Anfield also, we are sure he'll be pitting at the end of this lap. But don't forget, Racer Brown will have to pit again. And they're doing roughly 1:37s, and their pit stop lap is a 2:02 and another 3 seconds. So they're losing around about 32 seconds a pit stop. So they've all just got one stop left each, should we say. IR Graham will be doing his pit stop pretty soon, and Racer Brown, he's done very well to say how early he pitted, getting himself back up into second, but he will have to pit again, and we would assume the Alphas would come back past him, and then he's going to have to race them. There is Kale, still ahead of Pace, and Pace is still managing to keep that BMW on the super soft tyres behind him. But is this the move? Lil GP, he's up the inside. Can he make it stick? But now Pace has got the racing line back, and they both make it through the chicane of death. The Corvette just ahead of the BMW. Stevie Styler is being caught by Matt Psycho. He did a 39.7 his last time around. Liam Anfield, he came into the pits, but IR Graham didn't. IR Graham continuing on for another circuit, but that does mean he's just cutting down the amount of laps he has to do on the super soft tyres. And Racer Brown fighting hard to come back in this race. And as I said, Liam Anfield's gone into the pits. Kale moving up into third, ahead of his teammate Pace in fourth. Pace under all sorts of pressure from the BMW. This one looks like it's Little's GP's line, but the Pace just stays there. And Little's GP must be throwing his hands in the air, thinking, what have I got to do? What have I got to do? I'm throwing every trick of the book at this Corvette, and I just cannot get past it. Good morning, baby. So sat on board with 5th place, Little's GP, the champion-elect, and he's looking for anything to get past this Corvette in front of us. And there we go, late on the brakes, into the hairpin, but the Corvette doing an absolute blinding job of sticking that Chevrolet on the apex of each corner. They make it through the chicane of death safe and sound for another lap. Graham is bringing the Alfa Romeo into the pits, and that means Racer Brown retakes the lead of this race on lap 14. But again, he will have to pit before. He's only got a small amount of fuel left in the car himself, so he'll be pitting in the next lap or two with Kale. He's still got half a tank of fuel to go. So yeah, could be another 10 minutes or so before Kale pits, as does Pace. Pace has got a lot more fuel on that. He's up into third. He's keeping that Little's GP at bay. Matt Psycho making his way back up into 5th now. The Alfa Romeos have pitted. Stevie Styler in 6th, looking for a way past that BMW. IR Graham coming out of the pits, and oh my lord, just in the background we see Homesick Alien getting caught out by the curbs. He's in 9th spot at the moment. We know he's on a 2-stop strategy. He's been chasing Guesty for a while now, and IR Graham coming out of the pits just in front of him, and oh, there you go, and that is the Alien spun around. So Racer Brown leading the way from Kale in 2nd place, Pace in 3rd, Little's GP in 4th, but he's never been more than 3 inches from the back of that Corvette. It's been a hard fought fight between these two drivers, Pace and Little's GP, having an absolute corker of a race. And the pace is, Kale did a 1:38.0 his last time around on them super soft tyres. Pace did a 38.3 his last time around on those softs, and Little's GP a 38.3 also, which figures as he's stuck to the back of the Corvette. He's going for another move. Can he make it stick? He's got the inside line, but the Corvette there now has the inside line and stays ahead of the BMW for another lap. We've got roughly 16 minutes left of racing here. Racer Brown, his fuel tank is flashing, and he will have to go and see his pit crew pretty soon. Kale can still go for a while yet, as can Pace, as can Little's GP. Matt Psycho still fending off from that McLaren. Racing galore up and down the field here for the final race of the GTMC in Lobby 1. It's like they're racing like the championship's not already over. It's great stuff. IR Graham just ahead of Guesty. Liam Anfield now in 9th spot after the Homesick Alien had a small off, and Gazman moving up into 10th with Alien in last spot. What can Racer Brown do then? We're coming up. Is he going to chuck it? Oh, he's got to go in the pits. He has to go in the pits on this lap, because he's got no fuel on board that Aston Martin or whatsoever. So there he goes. Go and change his Pirellis and top up with a bit of fuel. I should have seen if there was a fuel make on that car. Kale then takes the lead. What, for the first time this afternoon, I believe. Kale in the lead in the Corvette, and Pace in second spot. Chevy will be so happy. That Beamer absolutely frustrated with Pace, cannot do anything to get past him. This is when he needs to be putting his qualifying laps in before he goes into the pits, because those one stoppers will be looming. Matt Psycho a 39.1 last time round for Matt Psycho. He's lost Stevie Styler though. Stevie Styler's dropped off of Matt Psycho, with IR Graham in 6th, Guesty in 7th, Racer Brown in 8th after his pit stop, coming out ahead of Liam Anfield. That's very interesting. So Racer Brown ahead of the first one stopper, but he's behind the other. He's going to have to try and overtake IR Graham if he wants the win of this race, and we still don't know how these Corvettes are going to look after their pit stops and where they're going to come, and nor Little's GP as well. It's going to be a taut, tight battle for the win, I believe, at the end. And here we go, Kale. I thought Pace was starting to attack his teammate. Kale's on the super softs, and it looks like Pace and Little's GP have both gone into the pits. You can't call it between them. Pace has got more fuel on board than Little's GP, so should do a shorter pit stop. Matt Psycho coming around, he's going to carry on for another lap and moves up into second place. Then Stevie Styler, he's dropping it into the pits like it's hot. And IR Graham continuing on his one-stop mission. Racer Brown is the next man down the track. And here comes Pace out ahead of Racer Brown. Very tight, but he's ahead. Racer Brown's got the momentum. He's catching up Pace. But Pace having an absolute blinder of a pit stop. He's come out behind IR Graham, but ahead of Racer Brown and Liam Anfield. So Pace putting his hat in contention for this race. And Little's GP come out of the pits in 7th. We knew he had to put a bit more fuel in than Pace. Has Pace put enough fuel in? That was very quick. Yeah, it's the same as Little's GP. Racer Brown, he's got 3/4. Is that enough fuel for the end of the race? We will see. So Kale did not come into the pits. He's gone round another time. And on the fresher tyres, can Pace jump his teammate in the pit stops, as he has done Racer Brown's. Racer Brown was ahead of Pace before the pit stops. Liam Anfield keeping it steady, keeping it fuel. And there goes Kale. Kale is jumping into the pits for the HP Wheel Deal team. So Matt Psycho also going to be going into the pits for his second stop. And IR Graham should take over the lead of this race, and it is to keep. But there you can see Pace and Racer Brown. Racer Brown getting very close to Pace now as Kale sits in the pits. IR Graham takes over the lead of this race. Pace defending from Aston Martin. Racer Brown moving up. Can he get it? But Pace has got that inside line, and we've seen how Pace can defend when Little's GP was all up in his busy. And now it's Racer Brown's turn. Liam Anfield ahead of Kale. Kale now having to fight Little's GP. Little's GP must be sick of the sight of Corvettes in this 40-minute race. He just spent his last stint looking at the back of one, and now he's looking back at the other one. Gasman in 7th place, but he's going to have to make a pit stop. There's Matt Psycho after his pits in 8th, but he should get 7th back after Gasman's pit stop. Stevie Styler in 9th. He's running to the end of the race now. He's quite away from the back of Matt Psycho, so all he can do is get his head down and crack on. Homesick Alien has got himself ahead of Guesty. guess he's just pitted, but I'm not sure how Homesick Alien has ended up there after his big off. But there we go for the battle for the lead. Pace having a crack at IR Graham, and there you go. Simple Simon. He's up. He's in the lead. IR Graham down into second spot. And Racer Brown in third. Hunting him down, but IR Graham trying to come back at the Corvette. The Corvette's got that inside line, and the Alfa Romeo looked a little bit sideways there, giving Racer Brown a great opportunity to catch these guys up. And now down into the hairpin. They're both side by side. Pace is off really wide, but he's back on the track. And he's back ahead of IR Graham. IR Graham, he's going to have to start thinking defensive now, because he's got Racer Brown very close behind, and Racer Brown on a lot fresher tyres than IR Graham's Super Softs. We've got around just under 9 minutes left of the race to go. Liam Anfield trying to defend from Little's GP. So Little's GP managing to get past the Corvette of Kale, and now he's hunting down Liam Anfield in fourth spot. Remember, Liam Anfield on old tyres, so Little's GP on the fresher tyre, and he's put the racing softs on, so he's used the 2 compounds. And there is Kale. Oh yeah, cool shot of the back of the Corvette. And Kale's on the super softs. He can get through the chicane. He can catch up with Little's GP. So his teammate Pace is leading from IR Graham, and IR Graham's got his hands full now with Racer Brown having a look at the back of that Alfa Romeo. In fourth, Little's GP just ahead of Liam Anfield, and Kale down in sixth. So Little's GP, cracking race. He's had to race every single lap. Can he just get to the podium there before the end? There's some change in, and IR Graham has dropped behind Racer Brown for some reason. We'll have a quick flick back. So IR Graham there as they come over the brow of the hill. It just looks like those old tyres on IR Graham's car just cannot slow him down into that corner enough. And Racer Brown moving up into second place. At the moment, KLM Pace is absolutely destroying the sectors. He got a purple. And Racer Brown, he's just ahead of IR Graham. IR Graham, he's not giving it up so easily. And he's towing himself around the track in the Aston Martin's exhaust fumes. And Little's GP just ahead of Liam Anfield's. Liam Anfield trying to defend now from Kale. Liam Anfield's tyres starting to feel the pressure of a one-stop strategy, and the brand new super softs of Kale in that Corvette starting to come to life. Can't see a tyre sticker on it. The yellow around the rim, what is that? Pirelli. We'd guess Pirelli for the Corvettes. And he makes the move on Liam Anfield's, which we're going to say Bridgestone. His super soft Bridgestone's starting to feel a bit old now in that Alpha as he's one-stopping. Pace then leading the way. He didn't get the fastest lap. He got his fastest lap at 37.340. Racer Brown in the second spot, trying to stay ahead of IR Graham. He's got the fresher tyres, just doesn't seem to have the lap time that Pace has got at the moment. And we are nearly 5 minutes away from the end of this race. As it's dying down, I want to say a humongous thank you this season to Racer Brown for hosting any did an absolutely great job whilst doing so. And again, big thanks to the admin and the stewards behind the scenes for work they've put in, and obviously everyone who took part, all of those guys out there slogging it out. They think they're having fun, but they're not. They're our entertainment. And Pace at the moment leading the way, with Racer Brown in second spot, I.R. Graham third, 38.5 last time around for I.R. Graham. Lils GP's not far away at 37.6, and we've just got 4 minutes left of racing. Can Lils GP catch up I.R. Graham by the end of the race on those soft tyres? Kale just dropping off the back end of the BMW. He seems pretty safe. He's got Liam Anfield behind him, but Liam Anfield is on some very old super soft tyres, and I don't imagine he can set an assault on that Corvette ahead of him. Matt Psycho in 7th. Tyres are fresher, but he's just too far behind Liam Anfield at this point in the race. Stevie Styler in 8th spot, ahead of Gazman in 9th. Homesick Alien in 10th, and 11th place for Guesty as we come to near the end of the race, coming up to the last 3 minutes, last 2 laps should we say, as we look at Pace going around the final corner to start lap 23. And what a cracking race from the back of the grid. Remember, that Corvette has raced almost every car. He's come through, and it looks like the win is his. Racer Brown clinging on in hope, keeping the Corvette in sight. I.R. Graham not too far behind, but I.R. Graham's tyres are going. A 38.5 last time around from him, with Lils GP getting the fastest lap of the race so far with a 37.1, and I.R. Graham is under threat. That podium is no definite as we come to the end of the race. We're on the penultimate lap, I would guess. Kale in 5th place, but the movement's here. This is where the racing's going to happen. Can I.R. Graham defend the fresher tired BMW of Lils GP, the champion elect? We can see Racer Brown just ahead, kicking up some dust, but he's still going in the right direction. We're getting ever closer to the Alfa Romeo now, and it looks like Racer Brown losing a lot of time there in 2nd spot, just ahead of us. This is going to be a climatic finish here at the GTMC4, the season finale, and we can see the sparks flying off the side of the BMW as it clips the walls. We're coming around to start the final lap very soon, and it's very tight between 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and Lils GP are really on a push now. He may finish 2nd, you never know, we'll have to see. But definitely Racer Brown in the Aston Martin struggling, and at the moment I.R. Graham with no tyres whatsoever left. We've got just over a minute left of racing, and there you go, Lils GP, he's up around the outside, and then he goes into the chicane ahead of I.R. Graham. Can he make it stick? He looked like the BMW was a bit loosey-goosey going up the hill, but he has made it work for him. Racer Brown did a 39.5 last time around. Lils GP did a 37.6. Is there still more for Lils GP to reap out of this race? Pace leading the way, bringing her home. He's got lovely space behind him. The destiny of the win is in his own hands. And Racer Brown in 2nd place with a cold sweat on. His fuel started flashing. He's got a very fast BMW chasing him down, and I.R. Graham is sitting on the tail of that Beamer, hoping maybe to capitalise. If the BMW puts the Aston Martin under a bit of pressure near the end, Graham might be able to make up a position on the Racer Brown. Kale in 5th, Liam Anfield in 6th, Matt Psycho 7th, Stevie Styler in 8th, Gasman 9th, Homesick Alien in 10th, and Guesty in 11th. So Pace bringing it around the final corner to take the final race of season 4 of the GTMC round 10 at Dragons Trail Gardens. He takes the win. Congratulations. Here comes Racer Brown. Manages to get that second ahead of Lil's GP, who gets the final podium. Take a boo, my son. Hiya Graham grabbing 4th with Kale in 5th. Kale in 5th. Liam Anfield in 6th. Oh, we got ages yet. Sorry. Matt Psycho bringing her home for 7th place. Stevie Styler just coming around the final corner now to grab 8th for McLaren. Had a bit of a lonely race really. Came across Liam Anfield at some point. He finishes 8th. Gasman bringing that Lexus home in 9th spot. Homesick Alien never really recovering from the spin in 10th. Oh, he's got Guesty hot on his tail coming around the final corner, but it looked like it's Homesick Aliens 10th, and Guesty will be finishing in 11th. Ooh. Has he crossed the line? That's pretty much on the line. So Homesick Alien in 10th and Guesty bringing the other Aston Martin home in 11th. So huge congratulations to Pace. That, I think, is his first win, definitely in GTMC. But it could be his first win in the VRC, even. I don't recall him winning or taking part in any others championships. Racer Brown, a gallant 2nd spot in the end. He had to defend a little bit. That's 2 second places for him from this round. In 3rd, Little GP, take a boo, my son, grabbing that final podium position and sealing his championship, I believe. 4th there for IR Graham on the one-stop strategy. Just didn't have the tyres in the end to defend from Lil's GP. So IR Graham 4th. 5th for Kale in his Corvette. He was leading at one point, but ended up with 5th spot. 6th for Liam Anfield. Which is what he got in the sprint race. And a worthy champion last season. And next season, hopefully we'll see him contending again. Fight through it thingy. Matt Psycho in 7th place. He'll be happy to see the back of the BMW, I am sure. 8th for Stevie Styler in the McLaren. Not sure how Stevie Styler feels about that McLaren. It's not done him well this season. No, he's a better racer than that McLaren has shown him to be. Gasman in 9th.
I know, I was just getting all the brake liners off.
Gasman in 9th. Sorry, Homesick Alien grabbing 10th in his final race in that Mercedes. Maybe forever. And Guesty grabbing 11th in the Aston Martin, who had a first season in the Aston Martin. Broke his finishing in 5th places. Right, I'll try and be quick. We'll look at... We'll stay on Guesty for a minute, and I'll quickly tell you what the championship table ended as. So, the manufacturers table ended, because we knew it was a hot battle between Alpha and Beamer. but BMW took the championship in the end with 462 points. So congratulations to Matt Psycho and Little's GP, raising that Beamer higher than it probably should have been. Alfa Romeo in second place on 446 points. Aston Martin finished in third on 381 points. Lexus in fourth on 290 points. Mercedes finished in fifth on 289 points. Chevrolet finished in sixth on 230 points. McLaren in seventh on 206 points. Jaguar in eighth. They withdrew a few rounds ago. Finished on 111 points. Toyota also withdrew their entry, finished in 85th, finished in 9th on 85 points, and Ford also withdrawing their entry, finished 10th on 76 points. So, the championship then, here we go, with drop scores. The champion of GTMC Season 4 is Little's GP. Nice blurry picture of him. So Little's GP, congratulations, a worthy champion. And he finished on the drop scores with 384 points in the end. So superb job from Little's GP. Second in the championship was IR Graham on 337 points. Liam Manfield finishing in third on 329 points. Racer Brown fourth on 317 points. Matt Psycho in fifth on 311 points. Homesick Alien in sixth on 245 points. Gazman in seventh on 237 points. Guesty in 8th on 213 points. Stevie Styler in 9th on 206 points. Kale finished in 10th on 201 points. Noxie in 11th on 178 points. Daz 12th on 111 points. Alpha Nut finishing in 13th on 85 points. Pace in 14th, tying with Alpha on 85 points. G Richards in 15th on 76 points, and the Iron Doctor finishing in 16th on 38 points. Like I said before during the race, huge thank you to Racer Brown for hosting this season, or most of this season of the championship, and thank you to the stewards and the admin, all involved, that did everything in the background to make this championship happen. It takes a village, not one person. Thank you to you guys out there that keep coming back and watching us go round in circles. We really appreciate it. As much fun as we're having, it's nice to know other people enjoy it. Show that appreciation by hitting like and subscribing like all the cool kids do, and ring the bell. I've heard YouTubers talk about ring the bell for notifications. I couldn't be asked. If you want to hit like and subscribe, do it, but if you don't, it doesn't change my life in the slightest. What else have I got to tell you? I'm behind, so you will be seeing on the YouTube channels pretty soon, at some point, the GTMC Round 10 Lobby 2, the VGT Round 3, the Raptor Riot, I think it's called Raptor Raid, it might have been called, and Sunday Cup. And then obviously Thursday night there'll be another round of the VGT. So I am playing a major catch-up at the moment. I apologise to you guys that like to keep up with things. Plenty of stuff in our Discord for sign up. There's Clio Cups, HPEC still got spaces. I believe there's an open lobby coming a Friday soon. I think Mika's running that. I'm not sure I don't know if there's spaces even. It might be full. I haven't even been in to have a look. I don't even know what what it is, but I know there's an open lobby on a Friday night coming up. So check that out on Discord. There might be spaces in that if you just want to tip your toe in to see what it's like rather than join a championship. The Porsche Sprint Trophy is signing up, and I think the WRX Challenge is coming back soon, Season 3. So keep an eye out for that. It's all in the sign up. It's in Discord. If you don't know how to get to Discord, you go to our website, www.virtualracersclub.co.uk, and as soon as you get there's a big pop-up saying join our community. But it's well worth a look around at the website anyway. That's enough rambling for me. There's been a lot of talking to say I've got a bad voice, and I will catch you next time. most likely for Lobby 2 of the GTMC. Thank you for watching. Hit like and I've not even got YouTube open, so I don't know if you're commenting. I don't think you are. I think everyone's gone to work now. Oh, it's already got a thumbnail. That's awesome. And yeah, thank you for watching. I was your commentator and your broadcaster. Jack me off. Thank you very much. I will see you later. Bye.